let's look at 12 ways to kick your own ass and win.
Yeah.
All right?
I kick my own ass every day, but
these guys may need 12. I may need a lot more than 12. All right? Hey, we got author Todd Cahill, You vs. You. We're going to check him out, see what his book is about, and we're going to drill him. Oh, here he is right now. Here he is. What's up? We got the books. Hello. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
See you, man, too.
How's it going?
It's going good.
Good.
Ready for this?
Bring me a book, man. I was reading some of it.
What
We got stuff.
What's up?
We got the
You
we got
versus
the hardbacks, man.
Come on.
Who wrote that? Hey, we got the good
this
stuff,
thing, man. Let me see.
Yeah, I need an autograph.
Mine's not autographed.
I need some bragging rights. I need the autographs.
Can you? This is what I want you to write.
Thanks,
Okay.
Todd.
All right. To my best friend Troy.
Okay. To my fellow patriot warrior.
To my best friend Troy. Whenever he comes to town.
I'm not writing that. I'm writing something. I'm writing the truth here.
To Troy, please call me before you go to town so I can leave. You know.
Kick your own ass and get out of here.
Let's go, man. Do this autograph. All right. I'm gonna count to 5, then we're gonna go. All right.
Are you nervous?
Nope. I screw up all the time. You have no idea.
I'm a professional.
Oh yeah, but go right. Welcome. Today I talked to Todd Cahill, author of You vs. You, the greatest battles we face is ourselves. And you know, what a great title of a book. You know, we're always battling with ourselves, and we're probably our biggest enemy. And writing this book, I think a lot of people can identify with this. So tell everybody, like, all right, who's Todd Cahill? What's he about?
Yeah, well, Todd Cahill is just, I'm a very prestigious college student, meaning I dropped out. Not once, not twice, but 3 times, actually. True story. It's actually in my book. And I thought it was some of the biggest fail. I thought that I was the biggest failure when I dropped out of college. But it actually was such a shift. It was such a great pivot to lead me to this moment, even being interviewed by you, and really being an entrepreneur now for 15 years. So, you know, I'm definitely, you know, who I am is just somebody who's been struggling in life, but really have had a relentless attitude towards the struggle and never giving up. And here I am, age 38, author of the new book, You vs. You, that just came out, which I'm so excited to sit with you today, Troy, and kind of go through the book.
Well, I think we all struggle, you know, and we all compare ourselves with other people
all the time.
We're always comparing ourselves with, you know, how we should look, how we should act. You know, like you said, you drop out of college 3 times. I mean, I'm a dropout as well, and you know, I've always battled that. You know, I have valedictorians in my family, and my whole family's teachers.
Oh, really?
And so I think we can identify with this book.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about more about like the industries you've been in. You know, some of the things. I know that you were an athlete. Right?
Yes.
You had an injury and you had to deal with that. But you had a full scholarship to play basketball.
Yes, I did. Yeah. Well, actually, that kind of started it all. You know, I looked up to Michael Jordan, of course.
MJ, baby, MJ.
And you know, I'm from upstate New York, and you know, I was very shy and actually had an issue with my skin, and I talk about it in the book. And like from 16 years old to like early 20s, like I kind of shielded myself from the world because I had little self-confidence because my skin problems and stuff, and acne. And when I really actually looked at it, it was such a blessing in disguise because I start to get discipline in sports. So, you know, my parents didn't have money, and I wanted to get out of upstate New York because there really wasn't much in upstate New York at the time, and I wanted to really get this Division I scholarship. So I read a book by John Maxwell, and I applied these lessons that I've learned and these principles of discipline and dream building at an early age. Had some good college, not college, but teachers that really invested in me too. I was lucky to have a great youth pastor that believed in me and started running track and started playing basketball. And at the end of my senior year, I broke the all-time record in my high school. I ran a subpar 4-minute mile. I didn't even know I was good at running, and I got offered all these scholarships and took a full ride to Tennessee, and then later transferred to Liberty University. But just, you know, the school thing wasn't for me. I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and even though I was playing sports and doing well, I was just like, man, 4 years at this, and then I got to go work a 9 to 5, and nothing against a 9 to 5, but I just couldn't see myself doing that, and I didn't know what that looked like at the time. But when I actually finally dropped out my 3rd time into school because I just got tired of it and I knew I could do better things, I was making more money doing sales. I knew I kind of pivoted to a different route that I never even thought I would go to, but it led to be an entrepreneur working from home for 15 years in the network marketing industry, and that's a whole different story. But you know, the ups and downs there was great, and it really has led me to understand what this battle of you versus you is really about. Because when you deal with not only yourself, but we also deal with other people and helping them overcome their battles when you're kind of behind the scenes struggling with all your battles, and sometimes we don't want to be transparent, we don't want to really be real or authentic, and especially nowadays in social media, right, you versus your persona. When I first realized that if I can just be me and tell the truth, and not just be real and authentic, but honestly just tell the truth about myself, whether it's a post or whether it's just me sitting down with you and saying, look, I'm going through this or I'm going through that, and not feel bad about it, I can better not only help myself get through the battles that we face, but also help you. And I think people are more inspired by the transparency of leaders than ever, because I think when we look at social media, I don't know if you ever thought about this, but like, sometimes I look at social media and I think, man, my life sucks. You know, look at all these people. They're so successful. I mean, what am I doing with my life? But when you really get to know these people, they're not really doing as well as you think. Or they have a lot of insecurities and they're dealing with a lot of battles that they're facing. But of course, it's easy to post how great life is. And since most life now is all about social media, you know, and videos and content and stuff like that, we don't really know unless someone is transparent. And that's why I love you know, this book so much, because it is who I am, and it's not me winning, it's actually me losing. And it's the lessons of me losing that has made me win. And it's not like, you know, I'm just this massive success story. Yes, I've had success, but this is a lot about how can you keep moving forward when you keep failing and you keep getting the crap beat out of you. You know, of course, the whole Rocky movie, you know, getting beat up and getting back up, and that's why we love Rocky. That's why we love the Patriots. You know, they always,
not everyone loves it right now, especially right now, right? We're getting shut up.
So the players, we love the players, okay? But you know, big football fan and everything. I love the game of football. In fact, in my introduction, I talk about Any Given Sunday and Al Pacino.
What a great movie.
Yeah, and that one clip where he's just like,
yeah,
you know, he got the crap beat out of him. He's pissed off all his relationships. He's ruined this. He's, you know, pissed his money away and all this stuff. I mean, that was one of my favorite scenes of any movie, and that actually made me want to write the book, actually. That scene, because they had to come together as a team, and they had to go out there, and the only way to win is inch by inch,
right,
and play by play. And again, you look at the Patriots, you look at Tom Brady, you look at these great players, they don't maybe have the athletic abilities like we think. They're just first down, play by play. So every day, personally, I take that you versus you battle, not like a vision of 5 years from now what I want to become only. It's like, how can I win today? How can I win in this moment right now that I'm with you? How can I be the best that I can be in this interview? After this, how can I go home to my wife and be the best husband I could be? And when I wake up tomorrow, how can I go to the gym and show up the best workout person I could be and get that workout in, and you versus your health? And after that, hit the entrepreneur side. How can I win my day tomorrow? So instead of just how can I win in general.
Yeah, you know, I think I love it. So what we have is something like a cookbook for success.
Yeah.
To take everyone's individuality and say, hey, you can win no matter what you're going through. And,
yeah.
You know, and I think, you know, we talk about sports. We talk about Hollywood loves overcoming.
Yes.
You know, nobody. You know, we talked about you had a lot of different diversity. You look at nobody. I think is impressed with, you know, if someone goes to an Ivy League school, and they have $1 million parents, and they come out and they make $100,000 a year. What we're impressed with is someone that battled. Maybe they came from a bad childhood. Maybe there was divorce, and then they go to school. They make $100,000. It's overcoming. That's what we like, and that's really what this book. You know, last night we had a great meal, did we not?
Yeah, we did.
So we were in Chicago. Dope place, best steak place. Where was it? Where's the steak place?
No, it wasn't more.
Gibson's the steak, ridiculous.
Yeah,
they bring it to
Chicago,
you. But you know what I really loved is I loved your transparency. I mean, you know, we've known each other for a little bit, but it's not like we're best friends. It's not like I mean, I think it was years before we started. I saw some stuff like, man, I really like the book. I really love to interview you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And last night, I mean, I got emotional. You know, just like wow, because you really battle through stuff, you know. I mean, it was some really battles, you know. I get emotional now thinking about some of the stuff you went through. I didn't know.
Yeah. I mean, the past 12 to 24 months, I went through 4 separations with my wife. I went through 2 tax audits. 2 years ago, I had the IRS. I woke up one morning and the IRS took every penny from me. Still to this day, don't know why, because I paid my taxes every year. So that's kind of scary. I transferred another company got sued, and they tried to put me in jail.
Yeah.
I'm standing in front of a judge because of certain things that I did. Stressed over money, stressed over this book sometimes, and even if it's even going to come out, because behind the scenes to write a book and to get published and to be in Barnes and Noble and to do it at this level, this isn't a self-published book. Like, a lot of money of my own dime had to go into this,
right?
And marketing and social media and publisher and stuff like that, and it might not be a success.
Right.
This might be a complete flop. It might be a great success. I want to be a bestseller. It's always been my dream ever since. I don't know why. It's like, some people wake up and they want to be actors and they want to maybe win the Academy Award. We're talking about the movie Queen, that we saw. I mean, he wanted to be a musician and he wanted to perform, and that's his calling. Like, for me, my calling is to lead others. My calling is to take my battles and win most of them, or if I lose, change my behaviors so that I can learn those lessons. So, like, for instance, when my wife separated from me because of my anger and because I was, upset a lot, not so much at her, but just upset of all these circumstances, and I didn't have inner peace so that I can be calm with her as a newly married couple. And, our first year and a half of marriage, there was so many outside things that the devil's real, and he just comes at you when you have a mission and you have a calling that's higher than just get a job. Again, nothing against a job, but so many people I see it, it just kills them on the inside. They're just working for someone else, living someone else's dream, doing someone else, and that's why we love network marketing, because we can do whatever we want to do and make our own, even if you start part-time or whatever. And I don't like that mentality. I want to, this is my life, this is your life, you have a calling, I have a calling. But I think sometimes when you have such a big calling in both of our lives, you're going to go through massive adversity. And if you're not mentally, that's why we have a brain.
Yeah.
If you don't have the mindset up here to understand that you can't have progress without the struggle.
Yeah.
There's going to be a massive struggle in all of our lives. And if you don't look at the battle differently, but also what you're going through the battles and how it is hurting other people, if you don't shift your perspective, that's why people get divorced. That's why people are in debt. That's why people are in financial problems. That's why people, I hate to say it, are obese.
Right.
Because they don't even realize it's not even affecting them. It's affecting their families. It's affecting their friends. It's affecting a lot of people negatively if they don't shift that perspective.
It's kind of a domino effect.
Absolutely.
It's kind of
Yeah.
And I think people watching, everybody has challenges, and there's people saying, man, I just, I don't know what to do. I don't know what the next step is to self-correct and self-improve. And that's the first, is like, how do I even take the first step? And when I'm sure you've had some highs and lows, and it says right in this book, you talk about some stories, but tell us about your highest moment, and tell if you would share with them your lowest moment.
Sure.
Like how low it came, because a lot of people think, all right, here you are, you got a book, it's in Barnes and Nobles, people are reading it.
Right.
I'm recommending it to everyone, my viewers, because it's such a great book.
Yeah.
But Todd Cahill had some highs, and
Absolutely.
But you've also had really low time in your life.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll just, because it's nice to talk about, the lows 10 years ago or 20 years ago, because they're well over. I'll just talk about the low I had a year ago. Attempted suicide a year ago. Sitting in my Corvette, and I turned on the gas and in my garage, and just let it go for a while. That's after my wife separated from me after 4 months of marriage. This was my second marriage. And it was just literally my friend, who is one of my best friends in the world now, but he really wasn't even close to me. His name is Aaron. I literally cried in his arms. He came and saved me and took me to a suicidal place, and I had to stay the night and get therapy and everything. And this is me, and the book obviously wasn't out, and this is me being the author of You versus You. This is me trying to maintain a household and pay the bills and provide for my new wife, and I have 3 kids, and an ex that's demanding, and I have to pay her all this money. So there's a lot going on in the Cahill house a little over a year ago. Actually, it's probably a little over.
Came overwhelming.
Oh, it just overwhelming.
We all can feel that. We can all feel overwhelming.
Depressing,
and pressure
and just like,
of
what
life.
do I do? Yeah.
It's life.
So I think the best thing that came out of that was perspective and a shift. And what happened was my wife and I got closer because I didn't go back to those traits. And I think people have to understand, if you change your mindset, changing behaviors is a rewiring of the brain. You can't, a lot of people think that, well, I'm wired this way because I come from this place. I come from a place that has 12,000 people. You know, I don't come from New York City or Chicago. I come from the farm. Literally, I grew up on a farm. So none of my friends.
Now he's
really
in
were
Chi-town.
successful.
Now he's in the busiest place,
Right.
maybe in almost the world, unless you're in
Right.
Tokyo or something.
Right. No, I
big
enjoy
shame.
it now. But yeah, just like, none of my friends, kind of ever, did anything. And I just wanted to be successful at a young age. So I kept this dream alive. And I think because when I went through that hard time, I still had this dream. I still wanted to make that shift. I still wanted, intentionality is great, but actions have to back your intentions. So once I had the right people and friends that cared about me, supported me, once I had my own book, so to speak, my own direction and path, I had to choose. Yes, I had freedom at that time, but I was choosing the wrong freedom and I wasn't fighting for the right freedom.
Yeah.
And I needed to fight for the right freedom of what the life that I want to create. And I never wanted to be in that position again of such desperation and despair and alone and, not knowing if, I literally being alone in the worst moment of my life is probably not the smartest thing.
Without no test, there's not a testimony.
Right.
And you're a true overcomer. And I think, a lot of people, and thank you, for sharing that. It's just amazing that you're able to share that, because there's so many people that are low. There's so many people that are struggling in this life. But, sometimes what I like of what you did, Todd, is at some point you can't play the victim.
Yes.
At some point you have to say, I got to take my step forward.
That's a great shift.
And you've got to, can't say, all right, poor me, everything's down.
Yes.
At some point you got to get better. And I love about what this book does is it says, hey, you're not alone. And this is what I've done. This is what I've been able to do.
Yep.
So Todd, I know there's 12 battles that you go through, you versus you, in this book.
Yep.
But if you were naming one, what's the one thing you want people to take away from this book?
Yeah, I think the one thing that people can take away from this book once they read it, because I know there's 12 battles, and that might seem overwhelming, right? But I don't want people to be overwhelmed by the number 12. I want them to identify the self-awareness of what the 12 battles that they face are, but at the end of the day, I want them to do one thing, and that's to choose to fight against who they are or who they were to really understand who they can become. Because human potential is unbelievable, and I think everyone can be destined for greatness. But what I've seen is few people choose that. Wow. So with this book, I believe that they can really become who they were always meant to be.
But what one tip or one thing can you leave to people, about the book and what they can do to improve themselves? How do they get started in life to if they're from a low moment, what would you give them for
I would just say the biggest thing is self-awareness, and I teach a lot of my clients this. The first step, my favorite quote is Max Dupree's quote. He says, the first responsibility of a leader is to define reality. So I needed to define my reality at that moment, in the Corvette. I need to be like, look, exactly what you said. I needed to man up. It was my fault. Like I'm easy to, I could blame my wife, why are you leaving me? I mean, why are you doing this?
It's called owning it.
Right. Just, you got to man up. And that goes for women too. It's the same thing. Women can man up too,
Right.
So they're, well, man. So, I mean, we're so, I mean, we all can man up and be like, look, I don't care about what my wife is doing wrong. I don't care what my husband is doing wrong. I don't care what my friend is doing wrong. I don't care what my mom is doing wrong. I don't care what my dad is doing wrong. What am I doing wrong?
And what can you do better?
And what can I do better? When you tell your wife, look, it's my fault, I'm being selfish, expect great things that night. I'm just saying, it's true. Like, you know what? I am being very selfish, and this is how you start the conversation. It is my fault, even if it's 77% her fault.
Yeah.
You just have to man up and just be like, look, it's my fault. Here's what I'm willing to change. Right. And this is what women love too, by the way, if you're single. All the single guys out there. This is what women love, is when men actually say, it is my fault. Here's what I'm going to change. And you actually do it.
Yeah.
When you start changing on a day-to-day basis, I talk about in the book, it takes 21 days to change a habit. We all kind of know that, so that's not really new information. But it actually takes 66 days minimum to change your behaviors. So that means you got to operate in victory every day for 66 days minimum to literally change your behaviors, and that's a real apology.
You form a habit.
Behavior.
Now that's a habit.
Yes.
You know what? I love what you said there. One of the things I love, you said, okay, even if my spouse, or it could be any relationship.
Yeah, any relationship.
You said, even if they're 77% wrong.
Yep.
Okay. And I rather be wrong and have a good marriage, okay?
Right, yeah.
I'd rather have them be right.
Right.
I'd rather have them be right, but I'd rather have a good marriage.
Absolutely.
Or have a good relationship. And that's something, that's
or
that's
working
pretty
with
powerful.
other people in the industry you're in, the industry
sometimes you have to decide. Do I want them to be right or I want the relationship?
My bad.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. The book is You versus You. The 12 ways to kick your butt, basically. I'm getting you to become better. And I think, this is a very inspiring for everybody. So, obviously, I think this was awesome. I appreciate the
thanks for having
authenticity.
me. Yeah,
I appreciate the honesty, being up front. I know there's going to be people that want to get more of you. How do they find you? How do they reach you?
Absolutely. Well, they can go to my website, which is youversuebook.com or toddcahill.com, either one, to get more information about how to get the book. We do have some special offers there. Amazon, the link is on there, so is Barnes & Noble. We're excited because we're in Barnes & Noble and we're also on Amazon. And you can also get a special book offer too, where they can not only get the book signed by my wife and I. Actually, my wife did the epilogue, so I'm so pumped about that. And they can get it on there, and they also get online courses. Some of the battles are outlined that me and my wife did. You versus your relationships, you versus your finances, you versus your calendar.
Wow.
And then my bread and butter from my coaching experience is Unleash Your Winning Mindset. All of that is included, and they get a free book if they go to youversuebook.com, signed by me. And of course, I'm on Instagram and Facebook, Todd M. Cahill, Instagram and Facebook, Todd Cahill.
It's Todd Cahill, guys. You versus you. Thanks, man.
Oh, man,
I appreciate
my
it.
pleasure. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Thanks
Appreciate
a lot.
it.
Thanks a lot. Todd Cahill, everyone.